So you're in for a treat today. This Willys is bigger than your dad's. Ask your mom. What on earth? This looks different. The fenders are higher. Might be able to fit a real tire. Different grille. You can practically see to the transmission, it's so open. So this is the 2024 four-door Willys edition in Earl. Let's see what updates they've done, because they definitely needed some. So let's start with the outside of the vehicle. We see the new updated grille. It's not just for looks. It's pretty much now complete honeycomb so that it gets a lot more airflow. I don't hate it now that it's functional. If it was just for a look thing, I would have been like, why bother? But it's not bad. We have the Rubicon fenders on the Willys, which you should have had from the get-go. Actually, to be honest, I don't even know why they make the other fenders at all, because it'd be cheaper if you just made one fender, put it on everything. So we've got the Rubicon rock sliders. They were there previously. We don't care what suspension comes on it because it's getting thrown in the garbage. Nice new wheel. It's actually kind of stylish. It's got KO2s on it this time around. And I think they're 33-inch KO2s as well. If you notice, this particular Wrangler is fully trail rated. There is a trail rated badge on both sides. It's not a half rated Jeep. I know, before we were just driving half rated trail Jeeps.
Wow.
Now we can drive full trails. Not just halfway, turn back around.
Both sides of your Jeep.
Both sides.
Okay.
They decide, but in doing so, to fully rate this vehicle, they had to remove the antenna.
Well, that makes sense.
Now, because I know most of you out there listen to AM radio, they still put the antenna into the windshield so you won't miss out on your weather channel you love to drive to work listening. First thing I notice is obviously the dash is an extremely bright white color. It's your acid washed white jeans on the dash. Oh, like this is gonna be great. This must be the Poison edition. We've got like a nice denim material on the seats. That's different. It's much similar to the material that was coming in the classic Rams, with like a bronze stitching too. That's kind of nice. They continued it onto the steering wheel. That's nice. Anything that's not red stitched for a change is always nice to see. And then we have a theater. So while you're driving, you could probably watch Netflix if you hack it open with a taser, I bet. Or watch our videos while you drive. I don't care. So we have a completely new dash here. Even the gauges are different. The surrounds around the gauges. We've gotten rid of the 2 circle vents here and added this straight across one so that we could fit this Bronco screen. Except it looks a lot clearer than the Bronco's screen, that's for sure. Looks like you have all your normal fun like CarPlay and stuff. The handle has now become integrated with half of the dash, so you can't unbolt the handle. It's very styling cue. They've kind of recessed the button to start the car. We've got this up here, which looks like it should be a speaker, but on this particular model it isn't, or they just did this because I know on the 4xe they've changed how the charging lights work up here. Grab handles and the trim around here is all different, probably because now there's airbags next to your head, so don't hit anything. This might hurt.
Yeah, you have curtain airbags all the way around, right?
Curtain airbags all the way around. Excellent.
If we kind of look up past you there, you can see the whole speaker.
Yeah, the whole sound bar has changed, as well as these the reading lights. The reading light in the back is now in the speaker grille. That's kind of neat. Looks like we've got microphones up here now, plus our SOS. I wonder if anyone's actually ever used this button. Can I order pizza that way?
I don't think so.
So like when we're on the trail and we don't have cellception and I can't get the Skip app open, I hit this, they could bring pizza?
I don't know. We'll try it.
We'll try it next time. So
back to the radio, I kind of look at this gap here.
Yeah, that's where you hide stuff.
Yeah, there's quite a gap in here. See if my finger goes in there.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna need.
Stuff's gonna just get.
You're gonna have to definitely keep a Swiffer duster in your vehicle at all times.
Well,
which I do.
Yeah, I know you do. Well, this radio is kind of cool. It just looks like an afterthought a little
It's
bit.
definitely an afterthought. Like, why do I have this much glossy black here and here?
Yeah, this is reflective as well. So as you're driving, especially on the other side over there,
Yeah,
as you're driving, you just see reflective lights in there.
So this was so you'll know someone's gonna come out with like a way to map that down.
Yeah, yeah.
So that it doesn't like impede your driving or flicker or who knows what.
Yeah.
It is an interesting dash. I don't understand why they choose light colors for vehicles that are meant to go get dirty. I don't know.
Yeah, like this is gonna get really stained really quickly, I think. It is fabric, like it's full-on soft fabric.
I think they would have learned from the first edition of the Jeep Liberty when they came with white seats, and a month in they were brown creases in them.
This is a Willys, so there are the main changes for the Willys. If we go down here, you can kind of point that out.
Oh, look at this.
We've got a rear locker.
We have a rear locker
and an off-road button.
And an off-road plus button.
Wow.
Shit gets wild when you hit that button.
Yeah.
We got aux switches in this one. That's great. I think they come in all of them now.
I think so.
I don't think you can choose aux switches. You just like, here you go. But we've got a rear locker in this one. So between the rear locker and the high fenders, this is finally a contender worth buying.
Yeah, this is a decent package.
This is literally, like, especially with today's day and age with costs and everything, most people will never use more than a rear locker.
Yeah.
And the fenders instantly allow you to fit a bigger tire with a lift than you would normally. And that's really the main thing. So finally, the Willies isn't just a sticker package. We found some new tidbits that we weren't listed on the build sheet. If you look up here, this is a very similar axle to what comes in the 392, because we have no axle disconnect. There's just a plate. And we have CV shaft axle shafts inside the diff. So that's interesting.
And we don't have part-time four-wheel drive, though.
We don't have the part-time four-wheel drive transfer case.
So this is a weird combo.
No, we do have part-time four-wheel drive. We don't have the all-the-time auto one.
Oh, there we go.
So we have your basic bitch transfer case.
Gotcha.
But we don't have an axle disconnect for some reason. So one, you're not going to get as good a gas mileage in theory.
Yeah.
But on the other thing, this whole cast housing on the diff is irrelevant and not needed here.
Yeah.
So we've got the weaker part of the diff for no reason at all. But I personally haven't had one break, and neither has anyone that actually travels with us.
Yeah.
So air down your tires, drive sensibly.
And what about the sway bar links? I know there's a difference there.
So the sway bar links, when we took them out, they are massively beefy.
Right here.
In comparison. Like, the hole's pretty big. This is our normal sway bar link we'd usually put in there from the kit, and it's not as big. So we have a workaround for now, but as you can see,
yes,
there's a bit more girth to that.
Right.
And if you ask your mom, that's extremely important.
Good to know. Now, you just reached out to Teraflex.
Yes, I showed Teraflex because we managed to get 2024 before they did somehow.
Okay. Way up here in Canada. Yeah.
Give them a head start on remedying this situation.
Right.
What are we going to do in the meantime? Well, we are going to have a steel sleeve machined to go in here to make sure that there is no movement and it's torqued down properly.
Right.
So that we can still get this out the door. But that's just because we have that ability to do that. We're lucky. We still have that good old don't kill the passenger plate.
Safety block off the frame.
Yeah. You don't need to cut these.
No.
If you're putting up to a 38-inch tire, we've had no rubbing there.
Yeah.
As long as your alignment and everything's all set properly.
Right.
So the drop brackets went in fine, the springs, all that stuff went in fine, the bump stops look fine. Pretty much we're good to go. We didn't put a steering stabilizer on this one yet because Landon on his way back with this vehicle said the steering is a lot stiffer on this than the previous versions.
Wow, so maybe there's
So
a difference.
we're going to see how it does with a 37 on it and then make our decision then.
Yeah.
because we don't want to deter somebody from buying it if they take it for a test drive, because this doesn't have an owner and will soon be for sale.
Right.
So now that looks a lot better. As you can see here, this is how a Jeep was supposed to look. We've now properly fit a set of 37s under here, thanks to the fender flares being up like the Rubicon. So we put on a set of Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs because they're one of the best tires available. Good old fuel Rebel 5 wheel. This one we went all out, so we put the Falcon 3.3 shocks all the way around with the included 3.5-inch lift. The drop brackets are down there so that it handles and drives properly. And yeah, it's ready for the trail. So despite what the internet tells you, you cannot just throw whatever you want on the back here. It will damage the door. So we use a proper tire carrier and hinge replacement. We've got the cast aluminum one from Teraflex, since they pretty much pioneered the idea of a heavy duty hinge replacement on the JK back in the day, and then everyone jumped on that bandwagon. And then now here we're at the JL with this one. It also relocates the third brake light and the camera properly, so it's quick release, comes off. It's tightened up against the door, and it doesn't rattle, doesn't make any noise, and your door operates the same as it does before you put the tire on the door. So your wife will not be mad when she goes grocery shopping. Engineers, what's the point of a giant screen if when I go in reverse, I don't get all of it? I don't know about you, but out here in Western Canada, people cannot drive to save their life. So a more view would be better. Look at this. All of a sudden, I needed to know what brand of vehicle I was driving, and half of it was my camera. Like, come on. It could be wide view. We could get a lot more view out of this.
It's kind of like they half-baked the software into a larger screen, I think.
They would not have half done something just to compete with the Bronco sales. Come on now.
That wouldn't happen. All right, cool. Let's go. The screen is huge, though.
It is big.
Yeah, it is big.
Even though there's a whole bunch of it that isn't the screen.
No.
Because, you know, it's sunny today. How much is it? 30 degrees out.
30 degrees.
What is that in freedom increments?
I don't know what that
like
is.
90? 100? 110?
Probably 115. Who knows?
Probably.
Canada's on fire.
This is pretty much what health feels like, probably.
All right, now that we've lifted this thing and it's all ready for adventure and we've been driving it around for a little bit, what's your thoughts?
Well, I've always liked the 2-liter turbo engine. Even with the 37s on it, it doesn't feel bogged down too bad. Unlike all the people that never bought the 2-liter in the beginning because all they thought was 4-cylinder was less than 6. And I understand how math works, but it has a turbo and it is a blast to drive. And right now we're not re-geared yet, and it drives pretty well. It's not like it's dying here, like when we lift a 3.6 and throw 37s or 8s on it and it's a little anemic. I'm quite impressed. The screen is huge, like almost distracting huge.
Yeah.
The gauges look almost identical the way they were before. I can't personally stand the dash color.
Yeah, so dash color is weird.
Yeah, fabric whitish dash. It's not a Bentley.
No.
This is no one.
Stop trying to make it a Bentley.
Yeah, don't make it a Bentley.
Cool. What about the steering feel? We said the steering feel is quite a bit different.
The steering is exceptionally tight.
Wow.
Like very taut, tight. You probably don't even need to turn. It could probably do a drag strip without any hands on the wheel. And there's ditches on both sides of us. We haven't died yet.
So what have they done then? That's kind of different.
My guess is they dug it a couple more extra times on the steering components. So the tighter it is, the harder it is to turn. So if they go a bit more, there's what you get.
Yeah.
Or maybe they put thicker fluid in. Who knows?
Who knows what happened. Anyways, it's definitely an improvement.
We didn't bother putting a steering stabilizer on because it's so stiff.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We used money elsewhere instead.
You gotta be kidding me. Look at the sun hat on that lady. Her peripheral vision is terrible.
peripheral. I don't think her front vision's any good.
We could have just died right there.
Yeah, I almost died. We almost got written off by a fucking Chevy Aveo. So just to recap, this isn't just a sticker packaged Sport. This is actually a different model. This particular Willies, like all of them now, have Highline Rubicon fenders, has the same Rubicon rear diff and locker, and underneath, when we look, surprisingly, it has no axle disconnect and has CV shafts, so it doesn't bind as much in four-wheel drive.
Yeah. So it's actually a useful package.
It's actually worth buying, and especially in today's day and age with costs and interest rate, this is probably going to be the most popular package, especially that you can get this in a 4xe.
Oh, you can, right?
Yeah. So 4xe, this package, that's saving you as much money as possible besides walking. It also feels like the steering wheel is made out of a different material. It's definitely not leather, which is good because really it wasn't really leather before. And you could never really keep it clean. So over time, we'll see how these hold up. Like when you get them dirty and the oil's in your hand, or you happen to have like a really epic large beard and beard oil gets transferred into it.
Yes.
And, you know, moisturizes it and tends to make it a little too slick.
Common problem.
Yeah, common problem for most people nowadays. Your mom included.
Yeah.
And, but we'll see. Only time will tell.
Now that has orange stitching on it too.
No, it has bronze stitching.
Bronze stitching, sorry, my
I
mistake.
thought you have perfect vision.
I'm colorblind. So bronze stitching, okay, yeah. So on the seats we got bronze stitching.
Yes,
we got
we do.
bronze stitching on the dash and the steering wheel.
And we've got acid wash jeans on the dash. With bronze
Jeans
stitching.
on the, yes.
Yeah, straight out of a Motley Crue video.
Okay.
Surprised they didn't fray them.
Looking for an epic Jeep or Ram? Give us a call.